Okay, this is a bit of preparation, learning a little bit about the way your hand works, so that when you come to play slightly more complicated, difficult chords like on the guitar, like a C chord, which we'll be looking at in a minute, you can understand when things go wrong, what you can how to remedy it. So there's a few things. Like, first of all, none of this is these are not. I'd prefer you to develop your ability to your hand dexterity by playing the guitar, but there's a couple of little things that you can do. They're not practice things. They're just you can check your progress. Like, so number one, if you can separate your fingers individually under control, so you call for that to happen and it happens. That's one thing. The second thing is that the anatomy of your hand is such that when you splay your fingers, they deviate, so they converge to a point in your palm. So it's all right, you've got a wide reach there, but the minute you curl your fingers, look, the fingertips point inwards. And obviously, if you've got to reach along the neck, the fingerboard, then the way your fingertips move in going to limit the range that you can stretch across the range that you can cover on the fingerboard. So, and you'll see as well that, like, when you curl your fingers here like this, if you try and splay your fingers from a curl position, they don't separate as wide as when they're open, your fingers are opened out. So you've got this issue of being able to stretch your fingers apart with the fingers curled, which is pretty much the situation you have when you come to play chords. One of the things you can do with the pen is, this can represent like this little piece of you're going to carry your guitar around with you, but anytime you've got a pen in your hand, you can do a little thing. Instead of twiddling the pen while you're thinking about what to write, you can do a little finger stretch. So if you set yourself up like this with your fingertips bent, as if you're fretting on, the way they drop down to the fingerboard, your thumb should be aligned with your fingers 2 and 3 to give you some stability. You don't need that on the guitar unless you're playing in classical style, but it's possible, it's doable. That is how I'm saying there. And then what you do is you just basically widen your fingers, but you see, they might be little finger flattened. It's like you've got to keep your fingers bent, because if they're not bent that way, creating a bridge, you're not going to be holding the string on the guitar. You're not going to be able to hold the string down. So you can actually gauge. This pen's a little bit short for me, but you can gauge, and you can look at things like, you see the way this finger turns to the side, your fingers turn away a little bit there. All these little aspects, you can, if you're aware of them, when you come to actually make a reach on the fingerboard, it'll be a little bit easier. So you can check things out without having to grab hold of your guitar. Anytime you keep a pen by your side and just sit there playing around and working out how you reach. But the other thing is you notice, which will come into play when I do the bit about the C chord next, is it's a much wider gap between finger 1 and 2 than it is between 2 and 3. Finger 4, we're not really playing any chords as far as I can think of that you'll be using finger 4 in, but you're going to get a wider gap there, and a narrow gap there, which will come into relevance in a little bit. That's okay.